Hey there guys, it's Hobo525 here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing another episode of Waves vs. Waves, where basically I get two Marvel Legends waves and I compare them both with each other to see which one is superior. So today I'm going to be looking at the Monster Venom wave and the SBDR wave. So with all that said, let's start the comparison. So the first one I want to look at is the SBDR wave, so let's get started with Elektra. Now, I wasn't really too into this figure when I got her, mostly because I'm not the biggest Elektra fan, but in terms of being a figure, she's pretty spot on, you know. I don't really have any problems with her, except she cannot stand for the life of her. That's really annoying to me, but, like, that's not too big of a deal. I mean, if this was, like, a character I actually cared about a lot, it'd probably be, like, more of a problem, but to me, she's pretty much just a shelf warmer, so, yeah, but very nice figure, though. Yeah. Okay, so next up is Cloak, and I was excited for this figure because I did read a couple of Cloak and Dagger comics a while back, and they were honestly really cool, so I am so excited to have these two as figures. But yeah, this Cloak is awesome. It is kind of annoying that we don't really get, you know, really any articulation when he has the cloak on, but, I mean, there's not really much you could do with that since, you know, he always has a cloak around him, you know? And it could be made out of, like, cloth or, like, fabric or something, but I don't know. I mean, I prefer it like this, but, yeah, still a really, really cool figure, and definitely one of my favorites out of this wave. Alright, next up is the House of M SpiderMan, and yeah, this is pretty much your average Spider-Man figure, at least to me. He has the same mold of a lot of them, and I really do like the suit design, though. The costume looks pretty cool, but probably not one of my favorite Spider-Man figures. But yeah, he is a nice addition to my collection, though. Alright, next up is Scarlet Spider, and this figure is great. I love the mold that's used for this guy. Very nice. I also love this suit all around. I mean, just the red and black, they just look so cool on this guy. And I love the talons that come out of his hands. That's such a cool design, and I am so glad they added that to this figure. But yeah, all around, this is a spot-on figure, and definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man figures. Alright, next up is Daredevil, and yeah, again, like Elektra, you know, I like Daredevil and all that, but what really sold me, you know, to this wave were like the Cloak and Dagger and Spider-Man figures, but this is still a cool figure, though. I would have preferred this Daredevil having, like, a red suit, but I think the Defenders pack with him in a red suit, like, was released really close to this wave, so it makes sense that I wouldn't use that one, but yeah, the black suit isn't bad, but I still really want a comic, you know, Daredevil with the red suit. But yeah, now let's move on to Dagger, and I mean, I don't have any problems with this figure, not too much thoughts. She's just really cool. She stands up very well, and all around a great addition to my collection, especially because I get the poser next to Cloak. So yeah, this is a great ensemble of figures. Now let's talk about Doc Ock. Oh boy. All right, let's get him over here. Okay, so yeah, this figure. I'll talk about the accessories later. This figure is such a good figure, guys. Like, this is a mold. I love this for him. I'm glad they just didn't, like, reuse some random mold. I think this is the only figure that actually uses this one, but it looks great. I mean, honestly, I just can't get over how much I love this figure, you know? But what I don't love are the tentacles or arms or whatever you want to call them, and it just fell. But yeah, these things are terrible. Like, terrible, terrible arms. I mean, oh my god. So first of all, they come out. I'm just gonna move these figures. I'm sorry, but I need to get this guy in the center. All right, so yeah, these things come off way too easily. I mean, as you just saw, it literally just dropped out of nowhere, out of his back. So yeah, they fall out way too easily. Especially like when I move them. Like when I move them, they just come really loose, which is horrible. Also, I don't know why, but Hasbro did not use bendy wire for this. So they're pretty much just stuck like this, just in this weird pose. I mean, no, that is not the way to go. I'm just so disappointed with these things. Like, I mean, if Hasbro, like, would have gotten these right, I mean, it would have been a good opportunity. like for this figure to be one of my favorites, but it just didn't. Like I literally preferred this figure without the tentacles because they're just so bad. I'm sorry. Like I can't even fit this guy on my Spider-Man villain shelf anymore because of these tentacles. You know, they just take up way too much space. But if they were actually like posable and all that, maybe I can make, I don't know. I'm just really not a big fan of these tentacles, guys. I know I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, they really do bring down the figure for me. Well, not the figure, but I don't know, the figure's so great, though. All right, so let's move on to the SBDR Build-A-Figure. Yeah. So, I mean, this figure looks really cool, but like the design of this figure, let's get all the goods out. The design of this figure is spot on. I have no problems with it at all. Yeah, so this is really cool. Now, the Achilles heel of this figure is without a doubt the articulation. It is not the best on this figure at all. So the arms, they barely even go out, and I don't really see an excuse for this at all. This figure cannot stand for the life of him because, well, one, his knees are like pretty much just bent the entire time. I don't know why they can't be straight. And then his feet, I mean, yeah, how am I going to stand this guy up, you know? And, like, I know it's accurate to the comics, but, oh, wow, he's actually standing up, but still. Okay, wow. This has, like, never happened off camera before. I'm not even joking. All right, but still. I mean, it shouldn't take me, like, a million tries to get him to stand up, though. But, yeah. He's still a really cool Build-A-Figure, but the articulation really limits him for me, especially the arms. Like, I think the arms are worse than the knees for me. It's just, man, like, I want to do some animations of this guy. Like, maybe some tests, but I don't know. It's just so hard, especially with these arms. And before I move on to the Monster Venom wave, I think this wave really could have benefited if it came with, like, an extra, like, Penny Parker figure. Like, it could have replaced, I don't know, maybe the Elektra or Daredevil, but I think it makes sense if this came with a Penny Parker figure. But yeah, so these are pretty much most of my thoughts about the wave. Now let's move on to the Monster Venom one. Alright, so the first figure I want to go over is the Spider-Ham. And yeah, this is a very nice figure. I'm so glad Hasbro decided to make this. So I mean, the design's awesome. I think the only limitation this has is like the articulation. Like, I know it's like a really small figure and all that, but and for the most part, the articulation is spot on, but I do think Hasbro could have included, you know, maybe like some knee joints or something. Like not even a double knee joint, obviously, but just like one little knee joint or something. Because, I don't know. I feel like they could have easily done that. But, yeah, all around, really cool figure. All right. Next up, let's take a look at Carnage. Oh, yeah. So, this might be my favorite figure out of this wave. Just look at him. He looks so cool. Oh my god, I can't get over the look of this guy. But yeah, so awesome sculpt. You know, I just love the way the red and black's like on his suit and all that, or the symbiote. But yeah, I love his face sculpt. I love how it came with this axe. This is really cool. And this claw accessory is awesome. Just all around a great figure, and it was jam-packed with a ton of great accessories. Okay, next up is, oh wow, okay, they just all fell, but yeah, so next up is Venom. This is an awesome Venom figure. I don't really have too much to say about it other than it's great, and yeah, definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man villain figures I have. All right, on to Scream, and yeah, so the biggest problem with this figure, like Elektra, is that she cannot stand for the life of her, mostly because like her feet are just, I don't know, they're just pretty, like, stiff. Like, they barely even move. So that means you cannot... she can stand. Wow. So trying this on camera really does help, I guess. But, yeah. I really do love, like, the gold kind of paint apps on this. It's very nice. It's a nice glossy paint. And, yeah, I love the claws, too. But, yeah. Very good figure. Alright, next up is Poison, and yes, this is what I call a great figure, guys. I mean, he looks so cool. I really do love how he has the, like, the spider legs coming out of him like that. That's cool. And just, I love the mold too, and the glossy white paint. I am a sucker for glossy paint, so, and this figure delivers, so that's great. But yeah, very nice figure. It is missing some paint apps on the back. Like, I feel like these lines right here are supposed to be like gray or silver because that's how they are on the front, but it's not too big of a deal. All right, next up is Typhoid Mary, and yeah, I don't have too much to say about this figure. I don't know too much about her character, but she's a pretty cool figure and all that. But yeah, oh, she just fell. Crap. Very cool. And then next is the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure, and oh my god, this is such a cool figure. I love the glossy paint. That looks very nice, and I love how he has part of the symbiote coming out of his back like that. That's awesome. And I love the detail on this head sculpt. I mean, it just looks so beautiful, guys. And just the sheer size of this figure is just great. Like, look at him compared to this Venom. It's so awesome. But yeah, this is definitely a fantastic Build-A-Figure, guys. So, with both of my thoughts on the wave, or on both of these waves, let's compare the two together now. Alright, so now it is almost time to answer the question on which wave I like better. So, yeah, for an overall review of the SPDR wave, it's honestly an okay wave to me. So, like, when I was talking about it, I did think I had more cons than pros, especially with the Doc Ock and the SPDR figure. Those figures were somewhat disappointing to me, especially the Doc Ock. But like figures like Cloak, Dagger, Scarlet Spider, I really like these figures. Like, those three are definitely my top three out of this wave, and possibly out of this wave too. But yeah, so there's just too many cons though, in my opinion. Like, and they're not even really cons, but I don't know. I just don't think these figures right here are as good as these ones. I mean, what? So there's like, what, 3 meh figures? Not even meh, but just 3 alright figures. Doc Ock, which was a disappointment. SPDR, which was kind of a disappointment. I mean, he looks cool, but articulation-wise, eh. And then 3 great figures. But this wave, fantastic Build-A-Figure. And I think the only meh figure for me here is Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary. But the symbiote figures are all spot on, and then Spider-Ham, he's alright. Like, he's a good figure, but I think these 5 symbiote figures are way better. So, yeah, if I had to pick which wave I like better, it is, without a doubt, the Monster Venom wave. So, those are all my thoughts about both these waves. Tell me down in the comments, you know, which one, or which wave do you think is better? And you can request 2 other waves I can compare in the next wave versus wave down in the comments. I will most likely do them, unless I don't have the wave or I don't have all the figures of the wave. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and with that said, Hobo525 out.